Well, that was my colleague Abigail Adumakoyentri having a conversation with the president of the Ghana Chamber of Commerce, Dr. Seth Ejeba, which was talking about the expectations for the coming year. And speaking of expectations, the Ghana Stock Exchange is back on, it's open, and I'm sure you all have expectations for this coming year. Last year, people who invested in the stock market made quite a number of gains. Are we going to see the same sort of trends this year? Well, David Odoi Dankwa is with me in studio once again. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, many returns.
Thank you very much. And tell us, let's go straight into it. Last year was the last week of 2013 rather, and we entered 2014 last week. What happened on the stock exchange?
Yeah, as you rightly said, last week was a bit complicated. We had 2 years, combining in a week. Yeah, but we saw the stock market closing last week at almost around 78%. That is the composite index, and the market started on the second. The fortunate thing, or one thing that happened on the stock market on the second was that all the stocks traded flat. None of the stocks moved on the Ghana stock market. But looking at the stock performances on the stock market, I think, as we've said earlier on, the stock market has a lot of potential to give to investors. But as your other guest was saying, the environment within which we are operating, that will be determining a lot of the factors, a lot about how the stock market is going to yield. Because we look at the CD, for instance, as the CD depreciates, it really turns away foreign investors and those that want to hold their money in dollar or foreign currencies. It deters them from coming onto the stock market because they get the returns, and the depreciation of the CD also takes it. So going back to the stock market, yes, last week, as in that is, I'm looking at the 2 days with which the stock market traded. We have the composite closing at 0.34 and the financial also closing at 0.83%. But looking at a row from 2010, you can still see that 2014 is better than 2013, because 2013, as at the first week, it was closing around 0.12 for the composite. So you can see this year carries a lot of potential on the stock market. We have the market capitalization also increasing marginally, and when market capitalization is increasing, then you can see the market is also doing well. We had about 173, that was for Monday to Friday, being added to the market capitalization for the Ghana Stock Exchange. So we closed with a market capitalization of 61,230.11 million Ghana cedis. But when you look at the dollar component, you see we have around 29 million US dollars, and that is basically due to the depreciation of our local currency. The week also saw 5 stocks gaining and 3 also losing on them, so that you can see the stock market has not been that down. So as we've been telling our viewers, they should go to the stock market, and this is the time you should be going onto the market for your own part of the returns, because when the market is up there, and that is more of Ghanaians,
to put your foot in.
Yeah, and that's the time a lot of people wants to get to the market, but at that time the market is flooded, and a lot of people also wants to take out their investment, so they'll be in there, and the market will start going down again. They said, anytime I go to the stock market, I don't make it. So if you have some investment to make on the stock market, then this is the time to go, because the market is gradually picking up from its fall or from its volatile performance during the end of 2013. So you go in now, you get some of the stocks at very cheap prices, or even when you get those that are still even up there, you are sure of very good potential, and you know you're going to just get the returns.
Okay, so very quickly, just tell us, for the coming 12 months, are we expecting to see the kind of performance that we saw last year? Or should we be expecting something better, perhaps?
I would say, looking at what exists, the information that exists, then we should be expecting something better on the Ghana Stock Exchange. But as I said earlier on, it will also depend on some of the economic indicators, because the investors, when they see, though the market has the potential, but the environment is not conducive for them, then they will not pump in their money. Because if I pump in my money and I get 40%, and at the end of the day, depreciation is going to take about 20%, and inflation is also going to take its own part of my money, then it's not worth what saving on it. So then what we are saying that the government should work on the economic indicators, especially the city. The rate at which the city's depreciation, especially at the beginning of this year, I mean, the first 2 days was really the first day was bad, the second day was okay, and this morning too, the city didn't do well on the interbank market. So the government should do much about the Ghana city, and when they are able to stabilize the Ghana city and some other macroeconomic indicators in the country, then we can say that Ghana Stock Exchange can perform even better than it did last year.
Okay, thank you very much, David Odoye-Dankwa.
Most welcome.
Thank you. We've had him in studio with us throughout, well, the latter part of last year, really, from the time we started Business Live, and he's been giving us all the updates on the stock market. For him, his advice is very simple. The early bird catches the worm. It is early days yet in 2014, and if you want to make good on the stock market, now is the time to get involved. Although in the past, he has advised that don't enter the stock market if you know you need your money sooner rather than later. You always make better money when you keep your money in the stock market for longer periods. So that is what we've had for you for Business Live this evening. We've looked at what exactly the business world is going to expect for 2014, and all around the cry on everyone's lips is that the depreciation of the cedi must be tackled. There's an issue that we'll delve into further on one of our coming shows. So keep watching Business Live, and you can get all the details on how government would try and tackle the depreciation of the cedi. This has been Business Live. My name is Jahuyan, and coming up next is Focus on Africa, followed by today's big story with Bright Nana Amfo.